something new. Generally, we do these after we start our business meeting, but often we have public hearings that are required in our town code to start at a specific time. And so sometimes never want to rush Chief as he goes through what's really an important thing that we do every year, because it recognizes the achievements of our police officers, but also the extraordinary things that our residents do to help our police department and keep our community safe. And I'm always just at awe when I hear the stories that are the impetus of these awards tonight. So thank you all for coming. I will just make one request. I'm not a dad yet, but this is the future dad in me. We're going to start our general business meeting after the awards. So I just ask, if you are out in the hallway, try and keep it calm, because we have public hearings, public input, and we want to make sure that the board can hear the speakers. So that's my one request. But with that, I will turn it over to Chief Tantilla.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Supervisor. We certainly appreciate you and the Irondequoit Town Board supporting these special events for us. I think it's extremely important and valued by the officers and members of the Irondequoit Police Department when we have the opportunity to demonstrate to the public the exceptional work that the people behind you and along the wall are doing, as well as all of the officers working on the road patrol tonight. They are truly dedicated public servants. They're dedicated to this community, and they're committed to their oath of office to serve and protect. Where's Captain Bean? He's hiding in the corner. Don't be the wallflower, Captain. Come forward, please. That's what you signed on for. I appreciate the supervisors taking the lead in regards to this, but that's not unusual for him. During the heat of the moment of the East Irondequoit Central School District teachers versus Irondequoit Police Department basketball game, of which I was the coach, and a minute left, he immediately called a timeout. However, I'm told by the officials that that's a technical, but considering they're all town employees, they decided not to call that technical.
Well, it worked. It was a good timeout.
If I could, I'd like to have Terry Buford come forward, please, for our first award tonight. And what I'll do, Terry, is I'll have you stand right over here if you don't mind. Mr. Buford is the director of the Irondequoit Library, the Irondequoit Public Library. And over the last few years, the Irondequoit Police Department has formed an exceptional partnership with the Irondequoit Public Library. During that time, we've held safety awareness workshops at the library along with community events, and we've been invited for read-along sessions at the Children's Library. We've expanded our community engagement efforts by hosting Coffee with the Chief sessions, the Willow Domestic Violence Shelter Toy Drive, which is extremely successful, and the Pirate Toy Fund Drive, along with similar events. In September of 2018, the Irondequoit Police Department partnered with the Irondequoit Public Library to sponsor a police community relations forum. With the support of the Irondequoit Town Board, we were able to utilize the library for the public event and host a forum that was the first of its kind in this area. When I initially approached Mr. Buford about the possibility of utilizing this beautiful facility and library to host our event, he immediately agreed to co-sponsor that event with us, recognizing the importance of police community relations and other stakeholders in the town of Irondequoit. The response for this program was overwhelming, and we established a line of communication and dialogue at a much higher level than we've ever had in the past. The support, guidance, and direction offered by Terry Buford, who is our fine director, was exceptional. He and his staff have contributed greatly to our efforts to enhance our ability to establish relationships with many segments of the community. Terry has always sought to work on a plan of success for us and made us feel very welcome at the library. I feel that the patrons of the library are very appreciative of his forward-thinking concept of working with all stakeholders to achieve a sense of community. It is truly my pleasure, and someone that I consider a friend, to present the Irondequoit Police Department Making a Difference Award to Terry Buford. Thank you very much, Terry.
Just a few sentences. Thank you. I consider this award to be an extremely high honor, and I accept it on behalf of the entire Irondequoit Public Library team. You know, one of the great things about moving the library to the Town Hall campus has been collaborating with and receiving the support of our town government. It really starts at the top. Our town supervisor and our town board, they set the tone, and it continues right on down the line through every department. It's been a wonderful 3+ years here on campus. That may not sound like much to some of you, but believe me, librarians, we get together and talk, and it's not like this in other towns. This is really a singular experience. And none of those experiences have been any greater than our work with the IPD. The high level of professionalism and dedication that we see in the men and women of the police department makes working with them a pleasure. And I know I speak for everybody on the library team when I say we look forward to future opportunities to work with our awesome police department. Thank you very much.
Somebody? Oh, Officer Long, to the rescue.
Okay.
All right. Pressure's on, your dad's watching.
Is the lens cap on? Well-oiled machine here.
All right, great, thank you.
I'm not going to call timeout, but as town supervisor, I had two jobs. One was to kind of convene us. The other, when your member of Congress pays you a visit to your meeting, he's here actually on a personal level tonight because he is related to one of our recipients. But you want to make sure they recognize. So I just want to recognize our friend, Congressman Joe Morelli. And I yield my time back to the chief.
Thank you very much. Now I'd like to have Dominic McKnight come forward. And Mom, do you want to join him up here? No? Come on. And Officer Greenfield. Very proud mother, I'm sure, right? Yeah, of course. All right. Dominic McKnight was participating in a ride-along session with the Irondequoit Police Department, and Dominic was assigned to work with Officer Joshua Greenfield from 1:45 p.m. to 9:45 p.m. on December 19th, 2018. Dominic is a criminal justice major at Monroe Community College, and we had met during a college hour program in December. While working with Officer Greenfield, they responded to a domestic disturbance between a husband and wife. Within 2 minutes, they responded to the location and were greeted at the residence by both of these individuals. As they arrived, they encountered the male half of the dispute, who was very aggressive towards the female victim and the officer. The male subject was yelling profanities and refused to comply with the officer's request to desist, and was advised that he was under arrest for his egregious acts against the female. At that point, the male subject pulled away from Officer Greenfield and proceeded to push the officer, and a struggle ensued. Upon seeing this, Mr. McKnight, without hesitation, immediately responded back to the patrol car and used the mobile radio on the police frequency. I heard that frequency, I heard that transmission. Mr. McKnight was very calm, professional, and clear as he advised the dispatcher and other IPD units that Officer Greenfield needed assistance. This quick response demonstrated by Dominic and the calm way that he communicated this emergency allowed assisting police units to respond in a very effective and quick manner. Just as assisting units were arriving, Officer Greenfield had taken the subject into custody without incident. During this entire process, Mr. McKnight acted in a very responsible and respectful manner and was a great assistance to Officer Greenfield and to this entire police department. On behalf of the Irondequoit Police Department, we proudly present the Making a Difference Award to Dominic McKnight. Job well done.
Just a few words.
Okay.
Very nervous. I just want to thank the Irondequoit Police Department for allowing me to do the ride along. I seen them at MCC. They were doing I'm sorry, I'm really nervous. They were having what was the thing?
Well, we did a discussion on the 6 pillars of the President's
Yeah.
Task Force, right? Pretty important.
And
Yep.
the minute they did that, they were talking about the community and police. So I immediately, that made me interested in, joining them one day. So I thought of a ride along, and they made me go with Officer Greenfield, and it was a good ride along and an experience. And I just want to thank the Irondequoit Police Department. And that'd be all.
Now, some might think that not introducing the congressman was a career-ending move, but, but considering I've known the congressman for a long time, I'll hold a marker on that, okay? Next, I'd like to introduce or have come forward is Officer Kylie Nichols. Officer Nichols? Now, we would have done this sometime, please over here, Kylie. We would have done this sometime last year, specifically in the fall, but Officer Nichols was unavailable. She gave birth to her son and wasn't around for the awards ceremony, so congratulations. And Coleman is somewhere right there. All right, awesome. We're going to present the Excellent Police Service Award to Officer Nichols. And this award is presented to an officer that's received 3 letters of recognition within 1 calendar year. This major accomplishment was achieved by Officer Nichols when on February of 2018, she was recognized for her participation in a charity basketball game between the Irondequoit Police Department and the Eastern Irondequoit Teachers Association. That charity event last year, much like this year, raised over $3,200 for the Irondequoit food cupboard. In March of 2018, Officer Nichols was recognized for her participation in a Special Olympics fundraiser at Applebee's called Law and Order, where we work with Special Olympians to raise funds for their events and allow many athletes to participate. She worked closely with the Special Olympians, and the funds raised were dedicated to future Special Olympics events. In August of 2018, the cornerstone of Officer Nichols' assignment in community services, she was recognized for her efforts in organizing and coordinating the participants and activities of the 2018 Irondequoit Police Department National Night Out. Some would say the largest event we've had in its history of National Night Out, going back some 30 years. These accomplishments are reflective of Officer Nichols' dedication to both the Irondequoit Police Department and the community in which she serves, It's our honor and privilege to present her with the Excellent Police Service Award. Congratulations. Yeah, go ahead, why not?
All right. I just wanted to thank everybody for coming out and supporting the Irondequoit Police Department. And Chief Tantillo, Supervisor Seeley, really the last 2 years that I spent through the Community Services Unit really was a vital piece of my career, and myself as a person as well. I mean, you definitely see a different perspective of the town of Irondequoit and the police department, and it really is important for moving forward in my career and sharing that with the other officers. Just the support that we do have in this town, that we are very fortunate. And again, I just want to show my appreciation. Thank you for all your support of the department, and Chief Tantillo for that opportunity as well for being in the Community Services Unit. Thank you.
This is like a new definition of camera shy. No one wants to touch the camera.
Could I have Sergeant Casey McLaughlin, Officer James Friscotti, Officer Dean Kay, and Officer Dominic Prate come up here?
We scare the captain?
I guess so. I didn't know that. Be it known that the Officer of the Month award may be granted to an officer who performs outstanding acts which benefit the police department and the community during a 1 month period. On November 20th, 2018, at about 11:40 p.m., officers James Friscotti and Dean Kay were dispatched to a residence on Paxton Road for the report of 2 females who were unconscious from an unknown drug. Upon arrival, officers did not receive an answer at the door. Looking through the windows, they observed 2 females inside who appeared to be unconscious and a male who appeared to be losing consciousness. The officers received no response, so they forced entry into the location. Officers Friscotti and Kay called for further assistance as they administered Narcan to the females. Officer Dominic Prate and Sergeant Casey McLaughlin arrived and assisted the male that fell unconscious. The 3 individuals regained consciousness after they were treated at the scene by the fire department and EMS, and then were transported to the hospital for further treatment. The investigation determined that the 3 individuals had purchased and ingested what they believed to be cocaine, but was likely a different harmful substance. The quick thinking and intuitiveness of the officers likely saved the lives of the 3 individuals at the residence, making them worthy of the Officer of the Month award. Therefore, Officer of the Month for November 2018 is awarded to Sergeant Casey McLaughlin, Officer James Friscotti, Officer Dean Kay, and Officer Dominic Prate. I'm sure the chief.
Thanks, guys. Good job. Thank you. Who's up?
Where are the other ones?
Right there. Next, if I can have Miss Pamela Davis come forward, please. Pam is with our exceptional civilian staff and was a fine addition to the police department in 2018. The Excellent Police Service Award may be presented to an employee that's received 3 letters of recognition within a calendar year. On June 2nd, Pamela Davis was recognized for her assistance with the Irondequoit Police Department torch run. She prepared the flyer for the event, volunteered her time at the event, and bought accessories for the event at her own expense. You created a finish line for us.
I did.
Yes, I know. Very good. Thank you. And this is the first time that we had ever done a mini torch run in the town of Irondequoit, and her assistance was invaluable. In July of 2018, Pamela Davis was recognized for her exceptional performance on several work projects. She created a school safety active shooter PowerPoint presentation that we utilize throughout the community, and served as the department liaison for the Rochester Red Wings First Responder Appreciation Day, and was an integral part of the IPD community engagement effort at the Puerto Rican Festival. How many tickets did we give away for the Red Wings?
Oh dear. I would like to check my notes, but
But-
I think it was around 400.
400 tickets, exceptional.
Yes.
So 400 people had the opportunity from our community to attend that baseball game free of charge. And in December, Clerk Davis was recognized for volunteering her time to assist at the 2018 Special Olympics Law and Order event at Applebee's, which we hear so much about. But her sense of volunteerism and her dedication to the Irondequoit Police Department and the citizens of this community make her deserving of the Excellent Police Service Award. Congratulations. We'll go over for a photo.
Can I have Lieutenant Alan Laird, Sergeant Casey McLaughlin, Officer Scott Bohr, Officer Evan Bruckle, Officer Tom Fitzak, Officer Chris Gruen, Officer Dean Kay, Officer Richard Luby, Officer Jason Murphy, and John Reinders come up. We got everybody? Yeah. Be it known that the unit commendation is awarded to any officer who performs an exemplary achievement, act, or service to the Irondequoit Police Department performed in a manner substantially beyond normal expectations in similar circumstances. During the months of August, September, and October, the Irondequoit Police Department's Technical Service Unit, under the supervision of Lieutenant Alan Laird and Sergeant Casey McLaughlin, investigated numerous burglaries throughout the town. Evidence technicians Scott Bohr, Evan Bruckle, Tom Fitzak, Chris Gruen, Dean Kay, Richard Luby, and Jason Murphy were tasked with careful processing of these scenes. During this time frame, the technicians did develop and recover numerous fingerprints at the burglary scenes, which were of sufficient quality to be utilized for identification and elimination procedures. Civilian employee John Reinders did painstakingly analyze and examine these recovered latent prints. He was ultimately able to positively identify suspects in 15 of these burglary cases. Because of the hard work and dedication of all those individuals involved, solvability was attained in these investigations, which may have otherwise gone unsolved. Therefore, the unit commendation is awarded to Lieutenant Laird, Sergeant McLaughlin, Officer Scott Bohr, Officer Bruckle, Officer Fitzak, Officer Gruen, Officer Kay, Officer Luby, Officer Murphy, and John Reinders. Thank you.
Congratulations.
I'll come around. Yeah, sneak in.
Thank you very much. Officer Soprano here. I know that his family was dealing with somewhat of a medical situation. Okay. Take that there. You want to do this one?
Can I have Sergeant Andrew Whitaker and Officer Mark Banker come forward?
Sergeant Whitaker, you can bring the family if you'd like. They look anxious. Go ahead, come on.
Some are saying yes, some are
That's it,
saying no.
awesome.
All right. Be it known that the Officer of the Month award may be granted to an officer who performs outstanding acts which benefit the police department and the community during a 1-month period. On September 11th, 2018, Sergeant Andrew Whitaker and Officer Mark Banker responded to the Irondequoit Bay Bridge for the report of a possible suicidal person. Sergeant Whitaker and Officer Banker did locate a male standing on the bridge. The male was visibly upset, crying, and refused to respond to the conversation and questioning. When the male began to make movements indicating that he was preparing to jump, Sergeant Whitaker and Officer Banker did quickly intervene and take the male into custody. The male admitted to having some personal domestic relationship problems and was subsequently transported to a local hospital for mental health evaluation. The quick and courageous actions by these officers brought a peaceful conclusion to the situation. Therefore, Officer of the Month for September 2018 is awarded to Sergeant Andrew Whitaker and Officer Mark Banker.
Girls, picture time. Make sure Daddy smiles.
Too late, they're gone. Ladies, come on back up. We got one more. Officer Kelly Kreiser, can you come forward too, please? This is in regards to our life-saving award. So be it known that the life-saving award may be awarded to an officer who, in the performance of his or her duties, renders first aid of distinguished or unusual credibility to a person whose life is in immediate jeopardy and does so in a manner that most certainly sustained the person and enabled such person to be delivered alive to a medical facility. On December 16th, 2018, Sergeant Andrew Whitaker and Officer Kelly Kreiser responded to a residence within our town for a male who was not breathing. Sergeant Whitaker arrived and spoke with the wife, who stated she had attempted CPR but she could not revive her husband. Sergeant Whitaker found the husband in the bedroom unresponsive and not breathing. He immediately began performing CPR. Officer Kreiser arrived and assisted in moving furniture so that the CPR efforts could be performed more effectively. A small task, but yet extremely critical. Members of the Ridge Culver Fire Department arrived and utilized the defibrillator to resuscitate the male. The quick thinking and rapid actions of Sergeant Andrew Whitaker and Officer Kelly Kreiser did sustain the gentleman's life and allowed him to be transported to the hospital, whereupon he ultimately made a full recovery from a heart attack. And as his wife said to me, if I could repeat this correctly, I know they did their job, but it means so much more to me for what they did than just knowing they did their job. And we're very fortunate to have that gentleman, his wife, and his family here tonight to help recognize these two officers for the life-saving efforts and in recognition of the life-saving award from the Irondequoit Police Department to Sergeant Andrew Whitaker and Officer Kelly Kreiser. Kelly Kreiser, don't go far. Over here. I've got 3 minutes.
You know, you have as much time as you want.
Really? All right. But just back to that one for a moment. Thank you very much for coming. It means a lot to our officers in everything that we do, especially something as important as that. So, Officer Kreiser, this is your show tonight, the Excellent Police Service Award, presented to an officer who's received 3 letters of recognition within a calendar year. In February of 2018, Officer Kreiser also recognized for her participation in a charity basketball game between the Irondequoit Police Department and the East Irondequoit Teachers Association. And I mentioned the proceeds benefited the Irondequoit Food Cupboard, and you played defense like I've never seen it played before. In May of 2018, Officer Kreiser was recognized for her outstanding efforts during a burglary investigation at a Charwood Circle residence. The investigation led to an arrest of the suspect and the recovery of an illegally loaded handgun. And then in October, this is the third one. October of 2018, Officer Kreiser was recognized for her exemplary efforts during a robbery investigation. Officer Kreiser was able to develop a suspect by recalling information from a report filed several years earlier. Not only was the suspect arrested, but the victim's property was recovered along with a rifle and a stolen handgun. Good memory. And lastly, in December of 2018, Officer Kreiser was recognized for her participation in Shop with a Cop, whereby local needy and deserving children receive a charitable shopping spree at Target, accompanied by an officer that is sponsored by the Irondequoit Police Nightstick Club. These accomplishments are truly reflective of Officer Kreiser's dedication. Her parents are here. I think it's truly indicative of the way you raised your child. And it is our And it is our pleasure to present her with the Excellent Police Service Award. Congratulations.
Keith, you want to get up there?
Yeah, let him think.
Come on, Dan. You can do a selfie. I got a picture. Okay.
Once again, I want to thank everyone for taking the time out of their schedules to be here. I notice our Irondequoit Police Volunteer Organization is here. I want to thank the Irondequoit Town Board for allowing us to perform this really important ceremony, not only for the recipients, but for the community to recognize the exceptional work that are done by the police officers day in and day out, those that we recognize tonight, and those that are out there working 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone. So this concludes our, first of all, please give Chief Tantillo and Captain Bean a round of applause. Whenever Chief does these awards, he does it like clockwork, and it's inspiring how well organized he is. So I commend him. But I'm so glad we did this, and so glad for the nice turnout tonight. We're going to now start our general business meeting. You're more than welcome to leave. I'm not offended if you don't stay for the business meeting. And just please be mindful of the speakers addressing the board when you're outside.